Operation Sindoor is still going on. This is nothing but a ceasefire understanding, a pause that has now been put in place. But Bharat continues to remain on high alert. It remains vigilant. Behind the scenes, India has been quick to thwart Pakistan's attempts to destabilize our border. With new age defense arsenal and cutting-edge technology, India stands ready to respond. Now from the front line, let's get you on your screens as How Times Now's Border Dispatch bringing you the latest on India's security strategy.
We are right now at a forward base of Indian artillery, Indian Army artillery. On your screens, you can see how these guns are fired. These are the guns that were used during Operation Sindoor to ensure that the fire coming in from Pakistan is well responded to. There are about 6 guns here, you can see on your screens right now, that will be firing, but they have been the part of Sindoor. Here in Jammu and Kashmir, remember, from the time Pahalgam happened, India took diplomatic punitive action. Pakistan started ceasefire violation. After 7th of May, the small arms firing turned into artillery and the ceasefire violations were escalated. And here, these are a few of those locations from where we saw the artillery firing being responded in the most appropriate way from India. You can see Indian Army Jawans right now on your screen who are undergoing the process of firing artillery in response to the fire that came in from beyond the line of control from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. This is 15 Corps of Indian Army, the Chinar Corps of Indian Army. Here in Jammu and Kashmir, this is Pratap with camera person Himanshu Verma for Times Now. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is artillery guns of Indian Army opening their barrels on the enemy. Remember, during Operation Sindoor, while the short arm, small arm firing, the ceasefire violations begin just after Pahalgam attack, and when after the CCS on 23rd of April, India took punitive action against Pakistan, including putting the Indus Water Treaty into abeyance. The small arm firing began from 23rd of April itself. After the 7th of May, when India knocked down about 9 terror bases, terror launch pads in POK as well as Pakistan, including the Lashkar headquarters in Muridke and Jaish headquarters in Bahawalpur, these small arms firing converted into further escalation, and that's when the artillery firing started happening from the Pakistani side. These guns, I'll ask my camera person Himanshu to show you, these guns were the guns that were the first to fire and showcase that what India was prepared for. The RT guns opened on 7th morning, and since then it kept on firing till understanding was approached by India and Pakistan on 10th of May. On 10th of May as well, there were RT firings. By 12th, it was finally decided between the two countries that the hostilities on the border, LOC and IB, will be ceased. The understanding right now is in place. Things are better at the border, but it is fragile. The Indian Army is all prepared. They are in their operation preparedness, operation deployment. What you're seeing on your screen is just one glimpse of it. From here in Jammu Kashmir at a forward base next to the line of control, from where Indian RTs opened their barrels to answer the violations that were happening from the Pakistani side. Here in Jammu and Kashmir with camera person Himanshu Verma, Pratap for Times. What you're seeing on your screens are the forward RT bases of Indian Army in Chinar Corps, the 15th Corps in the north of Jammu and Kashmir. Where we are right now is one such forward base from where the RTs were fired. Remember, these RTs were fired not only till the LOC, but these RTs did inflict damage at the brigade headquarters in Pakistan as well. In POK, from here on, about 50 to 100 kilometers of locations of military establishment of Pakistani army were targeted in response to unprovoked ceasefire violation that began just after Pahalgam attack on 22nd of April, the moment India CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security, decided that there will be punitive action against Pakistan. Diplomatically, the small arms fighting began. On 7th, when India targeted 9 bases of the terror launch pads and terror headquarters, including the Murid-K of Lashkar-e-Toiba and Bahawalpur headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, the two most dreaded terror organizations that operate from Pakistan. These small arm firings converted into RT shelling from the line of control on the other side, and that's when the Indian army swung into action, well prepared to ensure that they respond, and they respond in the most appropriate way. And this is what the response was. From here on, about 50 to 100 kilometers were targeted. Pakistan Army's brigade headquarters were targeted as well. The response was such, the RT response was such that an intercept talked about a commander on the other side telling his troops that पहले जान बचाओ दफ्तर बाद में खोलेंगे. There were intercepts as well which talked about how he left the brigade headquarters, went back deep into Pakistan and was in a mosque praying for his life. That's Indian Army for you all. Here in Jammu and Kashmir with camera person Himanshu Verma, Risham Pratap for Times Now. I'm being joined in by a brigadier rank officer of Indian Army. Will not take his name for the identity, but he heads the gun area in forward area. Sir, 6 guns under your watch opened fire, hit as deep as 50-55 kilometers, including a brigade headquarter as well. The intercept says, the brigade commander saying, "Jaan bachate hain, daftar baad mein kholenge." What was it like?
On the night of 7th of May, when the Operation Sindoor started, all the troops were in high josh. The morale was very high. We knew that we were doing the task which the nation had demanded us to do. When the enemy started engaging our gun position, which he was very not effective and he was inaccurate, he wanted to engage our civilian areas. That is the time when we took on his military establishment, his gun areas, and we destroyed them.
Operation Sindoor has been paused. How prepared is Indian Army to respond to any further challenges?
See, Operation Sindoor is just on a pause. It is not over. So we are 24/7 prepared for any kind of challenge which comes up, any kind of misadventure which the enemy does. We are prepared for it and we are ready to fire at all times.
Well, all the time ready, ever ready as far as our forces are concerned. However, this ceasefire understanding between India and Pakistan may be on, but our forces continue to remain vigilant as far as when it comes to our untrustworthy neighbor is concerned. And during Operation Sindoor, one of India's key weapons that kept the enemy at bay were the T-72 tanks. They were deployed, but they were not used in the combat. These tanks were, however, kept in forward staging areas, fully ready for action, and if needed, our correspondent Tetri gets you this ground report on the preparedness at the borders.
Tanks have always played a major role in the battlefield. This is T-72 Ajay, and the name itself suggests that Ajay means that never can be defeated. India can never be defeated, and so its tanks as well. That's the T-72 Ajay that was also deployed, let me tell you, in 1999 during Operation Vijay in Kargil as well. Here it was also deployed during Operation Sindoor and was one of the major battle tanks as well. It can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour on roads. It is operated by a crew of 3 officers, a commander, gunner and a driver as well. The tank is protected with thick armor, as you can see on the visuals on your TV screen, and it also has smoke launchers for hiding from from enemy view. And let me tell you that these T-72 tanks are used for attacking enemy positions, supporting the infantry, and also holding ground during the operations. And we'll also speak to the officer over here who will brief us that how useful it was. However, it was not used, but it was deployed during Operation Sindoor, and it definitely is an T-72 Ajay tank. Sir, किस तरह से इसका इस्तेमाल होता है और क्या कुछ इसकी how is it important?
ये टैंक T-72 M1 अजय है। इसमें 3 आदमी का क्रू रहता है। आप देख पा रहे हैं, ये ड्राइवर है, वो गन को ऑपरेट कर रहा है, कमांडर है, और इसके साथ में बैठा है ये गनर्स है। तो जब ये कभी भी हमारे को इस ऑपरेशन इलाके में ऑपरेट करने का मौका मिलता है, हम 24 हावर्स रेडी रहते हैं, क्योंकि ये इलाका ही ऐसा है। और जब ये पहलगाम अटैक हुआ, हमारे जो निहत्थे जो सिविलियंस हैं उनको अटैक किया गया, तो सेना ने पहले ही मन बना लिया था कि इस बार इसका एक मुंह तोड़ जवाब इनको दिया जाएगा। उसी को देखते हुए हमने टारगेट और टाइम पहले से ही डिसाइड कर लिया था। हम अपने फॉरवर्ड लोकेशन में अपने इन्फेंट्री को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए अपने डिप्लॉयमेंट कर चुके थे। इसकी गन जो है वो दिन हो या रात हो, हर तरह के मौसम में 5 किलोमीटर तक दुश्मन को बर्बाद करने की क्षमता रखती है। दुश्मन के ड्रोन्स को हमारे ऊपर ड्रोन अटैक हुए, उसके लिए हमने 12.7 mm जो NSBT है इसका फायर किया। 700 से 800 राउंड ये फायर करती है, जिसके लिए दुश्मन ड्रोन के अटैक से बचने के लिए हमने क्रू को सेफ्टी के लिए कॉप केज लगाए। इसके अलावा दुश्मन की अगर इन्फेंट्री अटैक करिए, उसके लिए ये PKT MG गन है जो कि 700 से 800 राउंड 1 मिनट में फायर करने की क्षमता रखती है। अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए ERA पैनल है, एक्सप्लोजिव रिएक्टिव आर्मर, इनके अंदर बारूद भरा गया है ताकि दुश्मन की मिसाइल, दुश्मन का केमिकल अम्यूनिशन इसको बर्बाद ना कर सके, इसको और ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन दे।
केवल अटैकिंग में ही नहीं, लेकिन डिफेंस में भी ये बहुत कारगर है।
यस, टैंक की जो मेन फीचर्स है वो है मोबिलिटी, फायर पावर एंड प्रोटेक्शन। आप देख रहे हैं, इनको माइन फ्लो कहते हैं। अगर तुम्हारे दुश्मन की माइन फील्ड में भी घुसना पड़े तो ये माइंस को जो क्लियर कर देते हैं और हमारे के लिए एक सेफ लाइन बना देते हैं, ताकि हमारा माइन जो टैंक है वो माइन कैजुअलिटी ना हो, हमारी मोबिलिटी बनी रहे। इसके अलावा ये टैंक अपने आप को खुद डिफेंसिव पोजीशन में ला सकता है। अपनी एक सेल्फ डिगिंग प्लेट्स है, उसको डाउन करके अपनी हल डाउन पोजीशन करके दुश्मन को बर्बाद कर सकता है। अगर दुश्मन सामने से आ गया, हमारे को पोजीशन बदली करनी है, तो इसके साथ ये स्मोक ग्रेनेड लॉन्चर्स हैं, ये लॉन्च किए जाएंगे, वो स्मोक स्क्रीन बना देंगे और हम अपनी पोजीशन को दूसरी जगह बदली कर सकते हैं। टैंक के अंदर भी
आने से विजिबिलिटी कम हो जाएगी, दिखेंगे नहीं और हाइड आउट करने में ईजी होगा।
चेंज करेंगे और दूसरी जगह से दुश्मन को एंगेज करेंगे।
और मोबिलिटी भी इसकी काफी स्विफ्ट।
अभी भी अगर दुश्मन कोई नापाक हरकत करने की कोशिश करेगा, कोई आतंकी अटैक करेगा, इसे एक्ट ऑफ वार माना जाएगा। और हम बिल्कुल 24 हावर्स बिल्कुल रेडी हैं। अगर ग्राउंड हालत में दुश्मन के साथ एंगेजमेंट हुआ तो इस बार उसे मुंह की खानी पड़ेगी और उसको हम बर्बाद करके ही दम लेंगे इस बार।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। सो दैट वाज एन ऑफिसर एंड दैट्स द जोश ऑफ द इंडियन आर्मी हियर जस्ट few kilometers away from the border of India and Pakistan, who says that even if now Pakistan tries to commit an inch of act of terror, then he will be given a befitting reply. As Prime Minister has said, it will be considered as an act of war. And why war? Because we, India, the new Bharat, is battle ready.
While Bharat is always battle ready, and let's get you more on India's Operation Sindoor, where our armed forces actively used sniper rifles to keep the enemy nation at bay. They were used in forward areas to target specific enemy positions from long range. Tetri getting you more from the ground.
We saw the cowardly attempt to attack the civilians from the side of Pakistan. Not just that, but even after the announcement of ceasefire, Pakistan kept on violating the ceasefire, not just once but multiple times at the international border and at the LOC as well. But the infantry and the individuals, the soldiers, the security forces that were posted along the LOC and the international border as well gave befitting reply to Pakistan. In the visuals we also saw that how several Pakistani posts were decimated, they were turned down, the bunkers were also destroyed. But how it was done, how in fact we brought down the enemy with the help of one of these sniper rifles and the assault rifles as well. Yes. Sir, please, if you can one by one brief that how these rifles were helpful in bringing down the enemy and for a precise attack.
These three are all the newly generation equipment. First one is the sniper rifle, which is basically 1500 meters range, and we can eliminate the enemy target at precise headshot also. And these two are assault rifles. One is the 6 Sindoor and one is the AK-203. Both were used in the LC battalions also.
Sir, how these were, used to bring down the enemy and how much loss they had to bear?
They have to bear several loss, like their enemy bunkers were burst using these targets, and their enemy targets and enemy locations from where the ammunition parties are going from one location to another, they were eliminated by using these equipments.
Sir, how important are these when we talk when there is something like Operation Sindoor, during when there is a tension escalating at both the ends, India, Pakistan, and at IB and LOC as well? Sir, how important role these weapons play?
Actually, I have already explained you that these are the newly equipments which were provided to Indian armies. All the battalions along the LC, they are using that weapons, the sniper rifles and the assault rifles. All individual is having their assault rifles and sniper rifles.
All right, so that was a brief about the rifles, the weapons that are used by Indian Army for a precise attack on the enemy that we have been seeing, that after how, Pakistan made an attempt here at the border areas, and how and what kind of reply did they get.
Well, the fire control radar, which is another state-of-the-art defense system, is the eye of the air defense. In fact, when it comes to its tracking incoming threats and guiding the guns or missiles to its target, it can follow multiple targets at once and also helps in quick response. Let's get you this ground report.
It doesn't roar, it doesn't chase, but it gives the command, and then the game of the enemy is over, because that's the fire radar controlling system. Behind me, you saw just the Akash Tir, and that's the fire radar controlling system here that detects not just one but multiple air threats of the enemy, and then gives the command to bring down the drones, the missiles, or the aircraft as well. A radar rotating on the top of the military vehicle, that's the fire control radar system that you're watching. That's the brain of the any air defense system. Sir, इसका ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में कितना महत्व रहा है और किस तरह से इसने एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है?
जी, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के अंदर हमारे फायर कंट्रोल रडार जितने भी ड्रोन टेरिटरी एनिमी टेरिटरी से आए हैं, उन सभी को अपने वेपन सिस्टम के द्वारा उन्होंने हवा में ही मार गिराया है।
इसका काम क्या रहा सर? इसने डिटेक्ट किया और उसके बाद कमांड दिया, और उसके बाद ड्रोन्स को या वेपन्स को जिस तरह से जो दुश्मन के थे उन्हें शॉट डाउन कर दिया।
फायर कंट्रोल रडार सर्च और ट्रैक दोनों की काबिलियत रखता है। इसने ड्रोन्स या किसी भी यूएवीज को सर्च भी किया, ट्रैक भी किया और उस पर वेपन सिस्टम के द्वारा फायर भी करवाया है।
तो चाहे वो कितनी भी दूर से आ रहा हो, उसे सर्च किया, ट्रैक किया, भले ही वो दिन का समय हो, रात का समय हो।
जी, ये बात है कि ये फेयर वेदर रडार है, ऑल वेदर रडार है, ऑल वेदर रडार है। दिन के समय हो चाहे रात के समय हो, किसी भी समय इसका सर्च और ट्रैकिंग एक्यूरेट रहता है और वेपन सिस्टम के द्वारा इससे फायर करवाया जाता है।
So that's very important that it's very accurate and it's an all-weather fire radar system that detects multiple threats coming from the enemy. And we saw that how during Operation Sindoor there were multiple drones via which the attempt to attack was made in several areas of Jammu and Kashmir, and this air defense system of India stood strong as a backbone to bring down the enemy. With Vijay Amit, this is Stage 3 4 Times Now.